All right, off to the side at the Mount Shasta City Park without all the hustle and bustle. I'm here with Kelsey. She was getting ready to do some ceremony. What's up, Kelsey?
What's going on?
Well, what are you up to?
Honestly, I came here on a whim. I woke up in the morning a couple days ago and I said, God damn, I need to get away. And I was looking at Joshua Tree in Sedona. My mom actually lives in Sedona. But for some reason, it just didn't feel good in my body when I was looking up Airbnbs and whatnot. And then I looked up to Mount Shasta, and I'd never been to Mount Shasta before. So here I am. My body turned on like crazy when I started looking at Airbnbs and places to stay in Shasta. So here I am.
How did that manifest? As far as the triggers in your body, you just got a bunch of euphoria, or
Euphoria,
lightheaded,
full body tingles, lightheaded, my fingers and toes tingling, and the whole thing.
Was it something that you discovered on your own? When you started doing this, what called you? I know that you kind of mentioned
to more of my spiritual path.
Well, to come into here, to your spiritual path, yeah.
Man, Mount Shasta's been something that my friends have talked about for years and years and years, and it's been a place where I'm going, okay, when it calls me, I will come. Yeah. And so here I am. I was in Las Vegas seeing clients, and so I drove 11 plus hours from Las Vegas straight to here.
In a single day?
In a single day, a couple days ago.
Badass, see?
I know, so badass.
The hoops are just for show. She's tough.
Yeah.
So how did your first time coming, or how did it what were your expectations like, and how did Mount Shasta meet or exceed or whatever your expectations?
Well, I haven't even been here 48 hours yet, and it has for sure exceeded my expectations. I mean, even just driving in here, because it's that one straight shot to drive in here, and then all of a sudden you start seeing the trees and the forests and everything, and I started having these, and I'm listening to a podcast about UFOs, which was totally wacky.
It's a hot spot. It's a hot spot.
I genuinely felt this presence in the forest watching me come in. You know? Was
it neutral?
Well, my programming wants to tell me that it's creepy, but I've watched way too many scary movies when I was a kid, so...
You like creepy?
Not anymore, actually. Not anymore. But I know that it's actually okay. You know, it's not a creepy vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're curious about us.
Maybe it's your fourth dimensional self. Maybe it is you.
Yeah, maybe it's me. Maybe it's all myselves and in the forest watching me, excited to see me again, or who the hell knows, right?
I know.
But I know that this is a place that's the Lemurian land. I know it is. I've heard it. I've seen it. I've watched videos of it. I've heard my friends tell me some crazy stories about their experiences here, and yeah, I can feel it. I can feel the energy of it.
Is that something you identify big with?
Different spirits.
The Lemurian connection and...
Oh, I for sure believe that we came from Lemuria.
Can you share? Because I feel like a lot of people, we haven't delved on this topic. This channel's new. You're maybe the 12th interview.
Oh, cool.
So
yeah.
I don't know if people know. They might hear bits and pieces, but what do you want to share?
Okay, so Lemuria, in my understanding...
I love how that preface is. Thank you.
In my understanding, because honestly, everyone's got an entirely different understanding of what Lemuria is. But Lemuria is very tied to Atlantis, and Lemuria is all about this land, however many thousands of years ago, that was incredibly harmonious. So the people in the land that were there were harmonious with the earth, were harmonious with themselves, it was a very beautiful, delicious, symbiotic community that lasted for however many years. And there's many different stories about the Anunnaki, how the Anunnaki came, and that's a star seed planet, or not planet, but a species. And they came and they basically had other interests in the area of Lemuria, and then their interests were not as harmonious. So then what happened was they created a disharmony. So then there was a lot of technological advancements that were happening, and as technology started to advance, then the Lemurians started to become less harmonious with their own land.
Oh, wow.
It's actually a lot of what's happening right now.
So many people talking about this on the past week, honestly.
So a lot of people are starting to, we all have that DNA inside of us, and then it's also tied into Atlantis, and Atlantis as it being the lost city. So then there was all these different species interacting with one another, but it was super disharmonious. but we're all remembering that time because right now we're living in a world where technology is advancing exponentially.
Oh man, especially these past couple weeks.
Exponentially. And we can't, it's almost like we have this newborn baby, and the newborn baby is technology, and all of a sudden we're like, okay, now you get to drive a car, and now you get to do all these things, and it hasn't learned to walk or talk yet.
Totally.
And yeah, it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but I also believe that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Because that's just what I need to tell myself in order to feel grounded and okay.
Yeah.
But I really think that this is a great time to interact with it in a different way, because what happened in the Atlantean and Lemurian time is that we started to advance in a way that was more evil, you know, like, and I don't really believe in the story of good and evil, but actually that is the story that we live out on Earth right now.
Yeah.
So in saying that, we're learning more and more about how to be in harmony with ourselves. We're going back to that time in Lemuria. But what we have to remember is that technology is here because we created it, and it's up to our own consciousness levels to create it in a different way.
Yeah.
So this is why we're in this amazing collective expansion of the human species. Our collective consciousness is expanding in such a beautiful way. And yeah, there's still a lot of work to do, but that's why we came here to Earth. You know, we came here to work. It is a challenging place. And there's some shit that we got to clean up, you know? We're all here in our own service, and we're all here to do what it is that we came here to do and be the people that we came here to be, which is love, you know? It's total love.
Oh, totally. That's like the fabric of the universe.
Love.
Yeah.
It's the weaving of everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And everything, anger, sadness, rage, you know, evil, it's all just upside down love.
It's another aspect, yeah. The hermetic principle.
Aspect of it. It's all upside down love. So.
And like sometimes, like when you reach these darker potentials, or when you reach these darker depths, that's just like the potential for the opposite, you know, like you can reach these levels of hatred and darkness and depression, but that's just like, yeah, that's your potential for its opposite too.
Totally. And that's what we're seeing right now, is we're actually seeing this crazy duality polarize in its most I don't know, like the spectrum of good and evil, or whatever the hell you want to say. It's getting wider and wider and wider and wider, and I know that it's going to continue to balance back out, you know, and it's going to come back to its neutral balance state of being. But we also need variety, and we need duality in this life.
Tell me about, you mentioned challenges. Tell me about maybe a time when some of your challenges led you to your truer self. I'm sure you have plenty of them.
Oh my God, I got plenty, babe.
But like something you might feel comfortable to share, something you might feel has impact.
You know what's actually interesting? So there's something that's coming up for me since being here in Shasta that I didn't even think that I had a fear of anymore, and it's the fear of the dark. And I thought that I'd kind of moved through that and whatever, but that's just how life is. You know, we think we've like ascended and whatever, but then God's like, all right, let's humble your ass over here, because you haven't actually, and you never will be. You're just going to continue to experience that fear or that darkness or whatever in a different costume, and then God's going to see how you react to it and you respond to it, you know? So it's all about the reaction and response. But as I was driving in, I told you I felt those beings, and I was getting a little creeped out. And then all of these dreams that I used to have when I was a little kid, all these nightmares,
I know what you're
scary
talking
dreams about being in the dark and being in the forest and being murdered by the person in the cabin in the woods or whatever. And then I kept having it over the last 24 hours or so. These dreams, these thoughts, and all of these memories coming back to me of when I was a little kid, and terrified of the woods. Truly terrified. My dad used to live, or he still does actually, his house is right next to a big forest, and it's helping me realize I gotta go into the woods. I gotta go into the woods in the dark and do a ritual.
Well, you know what?
Either this evening or tomorrow.
Which is
for
what?
The new moon.
For the new moon, exactly.
It's the new moon, and so the new moon is the darkest time, right?
Yeah,
and,
totally.
I gotta face that fear. So I actually have no idea what's gonna come from that, but I do know that fear is here for us.
Yeah.
Fear, I'm so goddamn grateful for fear.
Me too.
I really am. It helps us to challenge ourselves and see what we're made of. And yeah, we're not meant to be scared of it and stay in our homes the rest of our lives. What the hell?
I feel like it's like a compass for us sometimes. It's like it feels like it's pointing us like away from things, but I feel like it's pointing us towards the things that like will provide us the most sustenance, spiritual sustenance.
Right? It does. I love fear. Thank God for fear.
You're so cute.
Thank God. Thank God, thank God, thank God. And I'm being humbled totally here too. I mean, I was walking along some rocks yesterday. I went to the Fairy Falls and I
Cool.
slipped fucking hard ass on my ass
No
in
way.
some rocks, and I was like, all right. But that was a huge revelation for me. I was like, wait a second, I haven't even asked this land if I can be here. And I haven't given an offering or anything like that. And then 20 minutes later, I keep walking and I find somebody, and they're talking to me, and she gives me some cedar. She goes, here, you need to put an offering. So this place is magic.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I knew that, but now I'm actually experiencing it.
And it's like tangible. It's not just like, do I
No.
feel this? It's like, wow.
Yeah, you can feel it,
Yeah.
for sure. Absolutely. Even every time my dreams are wackadoodle-doo, and
So do you have a question? Do you ever have sleep paralysis?
oh, when I was little, I had sleep paralysis like crazy.
Did you see those shadow things? The shadow people?
The with the hats.
Well, that's the Hat Man. He's an archetype.
That's the Hat Man.
You know the Hat Man
I know the
archetype?
Hat Man.
There's the Hat Man and the Hag.
I don't.
The Hat,
I
like
don't know the Hat.
Freddy Krueger and The Ring.
Oh wow.
They're playing off of archetypes that exist in our group,
Ooh!
in our group unconscious.
Wow.
They live in the dreams and
Yeah, they live in the
Yeah.
dreams.
yeah, they're entities that have been around for thousands of years. Honestly,
Yeah.
they're not like new,
No, they're not new.
but their archetype changes over time. Like the hat will change
yeah.
over time.
It's
If you look back through
interesting.
stuff, yeah. I guess I think personally that I believe in the multiverse and spirituality and quantum physics and all that, and I think that with every possibility existing, there's an infinite number of variations of Earth, and I think there's variations in between. And I feel like that our energies and our group subconscious and unconscious will draw things in and almost give them a personification. So they're like representing like emotions in us. And I think that they take on a feeling. They take on not a physical form, but an intangible form. And I feel like they try to like almost alter our mind state as a means of perpetuating that energy that they
Right.
feed off of, whether it's fear, and maybe it's angels and demons. Maybe these angels we speak of are just these beings we call to that are just archetypes that exist in our group subconscious and unconscious,
Yeah.
and maybe they just want us to feel happiness and love, so they float around and do all these beautiful things. I don't know. That's my thought.
You know, it's interesting too, because I actually think that they just genuinely want to be seen in their mission. And their mission is most of the time to destroy and to be in the fear. And lately, over the last couple of years, because I used to have crazy sleep paralysis.
No way.
And I started to,
Yeah.
in my mind, actively speak to the spirit that I felt was pulling me down.
Yeah.
And I would thank them over and over and over again.
Wow.
And I would thank them. I'd give them the opportunity to be seen in their mission, because that's actually what they're here to do.
Yeah.
And I got that actually from Matthias De Stefano. You know that
Wow.
dude, the Argentinian
I've
guy
heard
who knows
it.
all the past lives
The
and
name's
whatnot. 'Cause
familiar.
He boiled it down and went through all the different dimensions, and he went into the fourth dimension. He's like, well, that's where all the demons exist, but they're actually here to destroy.
Wow.
And that was like, oh my God, well, if they're here to destroy, then I got to thank them for doing their work.
Yeah. Maybe they're like a manifestation of entropy.
Entropy, yeah.
The universe breaking
Yeah,
down slowly.
yeah.
I don't know. Oh man, I love the
Wow.
topics you're jumping on. I have like 30 things I want to say, but I'm gonna let you ramble while I get it together.
Oh man, well, fuck, I'm loving being here. Yeah, I'm loving being here. This was such a good choice. And to come here specifically from Las Vegas,
Oh, no,
straight from
yeah.
Las Vegas, and in this crazy cosmic soup of superficiality. And also I love Las Vegas for what it is, it's
Yeah.
Las Vegas is the safe space for a lot of people. It's a safe place to come in. What stays here, you don't have to talk about, what stays in Las Vegas or whatever what's the saying?
What happens?
What happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas.
Is that true?
Well, I mean, it is if you want it to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People can go there and explore their most hedonistic experiences that is possible and imaginable to them. And then they get to go home and go back to their vanilla ass life
Yeah.
and be whatever.
An exploration of the shadow, if used in a
Yeah.
healthy way, can like be very good for your life.
Yeah, and you know what? Thank God for Las Vegas.
Ha! That's such a good outlet.
Thank God
I
for
love
Las Vegas, because Las Vegas is holding it down for a lot of us,
Yeah.
And going, hey, come on in. It's okay. Figure yourself out. Go get drunk. To go do this. Be in your addictions. It's all good. We're all here. Leave, go home, go back to your regular life, and I'll hold on to that energy for you. what?
That is cool. Wow.
Crazy. And then I come here, and it's the fifth dimension.
Land of the fairies.
Yeah, land of the fairies, and all the beautiful cosmic creatures that are here. And
all right. So would you rather discuss fairies, Bigfoot, aliens, or fairies, Bigfoot, aliens? I don't know. What can we discuss? Or psychedelics?
Ooh, well, fairies I actually just had to do a big healing with. Because
you look like a fairy.
Yeah, I have a lot of fairy in me, and for a while they were mirroring me, and I was such a trickster, and so they were so trickery to me. They were such tricksters to me.
So they're acting as your reflection, maybe, or what?
100%.
Yeah.
Oh God, they would steal everything, and they would fuck with me, and just in all these little iterations of ways in my life. And for a while there, I was like, "Fuck fairies, fuck you guys." And then also in that experience too, I was getting stalked by a couple of wizards. Truly.
Like, yeah, you're cool. I'm not.
This was all happening.
I'm just laughing because I love the way you
Cruz.
said it. Fuck fairies. It's just such a funny thing to say.
Motherfuckers. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, fuck you." Yeah, because
they're probably good shit talkers.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And they're mirroring me. And so yesterday I went to the Fairy Falls specifically to do a ritual and to seek my peace and be like, "Y'all, I'm here with you. I love you so much." And I really apologize for not trusting you and not being with you because I didn't trust myself. Yeah, because I am a fairy.
You are.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that McLeod Middle Falls is a really powerful spot for fairies, they say?
Is that here?
Yeah, it's in just McLeod's, maybe like 30 minutes south.
Oh, cool.
But it's also the home, it was where the Whim massacre was, which is a little dark, but
Woo.
The tribe that lived on the mountain, this was their spot. Panther Meadows was their spot. They all had a ceremony where they had to put their weapons aside to have ceremony because you don't want a bunch of weapons when you're all on like plant medicine. And then the dudes came through, the gold miners or someone came through, and they slaughtered almost all of them. So the Whim is like a lot. It's like 100 years later, and they're still not really fond of us.
Damn.
But that was actually right there. It's ironic. I just put the connection today. I wonder, I don't know, maybe they're there trying to heal the energies.
Yeah,
the fairies.
I would imagine that they are. Because fairies are beautiful, and so are wizards.
What about the darkness of fairies? Is that more the fae? Is there a difference between the fae and the fairies?
I actually don't know. I think it's the same, in my opinion. I have no idea.
Can I share something really interesting with you?
Yeah.
All right, so I've read through some random offshoot anthropology stuff. They're suggesting that whenever like Akhenaten and Nefertiti made that new dynasty, where they talked about monotheism for the first time and had like the one god, well, their son Tutankhamun, King Tut, he had his bride-to-be. So the theory is that whenever that happened, the royal entourage left with King Tut's wife, and they bounced to Ireland. And that the curly red hair is from a mixture of Middle Eastern heritage and Caucasian heritage, like the Jews. And that the Fae are the jinn, and that all the like Celtic lore and all that stems from like
Egypt.
a translation from the Middle Eastern lore of the jinn and everything.
That's nuts.
And that they're suggesting that maybe, and now this is super controversial, I'm not trying to sound funny, but that maybe they were like a light-skinned priest class in the pharaohs. So they were like a light-skinned African people that, again, had gone and mixed and been like this Middle Eastern, and that's where I don't know if you're Irish.
Yeah, I am Irish.
I should figure with the Fae and like,
look
at this girl, you like epitomize bronze right now, yeah.
I am going to Ireland, I think, at the end of August.
Do you want to talk about it? No. All right. So, aliens. What about aliens? All right. So, if you got picked up by aliens hitchhiking, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather get to drive and pick where you're going, or would you rather they just show you all their favorite spots?
Oh, I'd want them to show me everything. Absolutely. I actually did have an alien encounter in 2012 when I was living in Spain. And I was doing so many drugs when I lived in Spain, and I'm actually pretty sober now, but I thought I was hallucinating the whole time. I didn't really think that it was true. And then years later I go, holy shit, I was abducted. I mean, what the fuck?
Talk to me.
So I used to have these dreams and I was living in Salamanca. If you'd ever been there, it's super cool. I mean, it's the most amazing place. It's in between Madrid and Portugal. And yeah, kind of inland in Spain and little tiny university town. But anyways, I was there and I was having a blast. I was taking ecstasy, party. And I had crazy dreams where I would get picked up and I would be put into this totally pristine white space. And then they would these beings would take my clothes off, these white beings would take my clothes off and then probe me into every single orifice known to mankind. Every single one.
How many holes do you have? Just kidding.
1, 2, 3.
One more than me.
One more than you.
Sorry, weird.
Yeah, I do have one more than you. But yeah, so then I would wake up in the morning and I would feel euphoric.
Wow.
I mean, I couldn't even describe, I thought, and it was weird to me because I thought I was going to be really hungover or feel like shit or have a come down from the drugs I was doing, and I felt euphoria. And
Wow.
I had this multiple times.
No way.
And then it didn't really occur to me until years later go, oh wow, I was abducted by aliens. And they were doing something.
Yeah.
And 2012 was when there were multiple experiences over the last 30 years or 30, 40 years. 1985, 1983, between 1985.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay.
But 1983 to 1985 was a really big time where the consciousness tried to shift.
Yeah, I was 83.
Yep, 83. And then another one was around 1990 to 1994. And then another one was 2012 and then 2020.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So 2012 was a big one. The veil tried to open, but the consciousness level wasn't ready yet.
Damn.
Until 2020, when a lot of us fucking turned on.
Yeah, 2020 changed me.
Yeah, it changed a lot of us. And if it didn't, there's gonna be more coming.
So what type of info do you have to share with like women travelers? Like you're sitting here and like, you know, I come up and I said, hi, I'm friendly. Obviously I got a big smile. I mean, I don't look too creepy, but you're like nice enough to come and step aside. Like, you know, obviously if you had reservations, you wouldn't have, but do you have any tips for like men approaching women in public being like, you know, a woman by herself or?
Man, that's such a great question.
I don't mean to make you feel weird asking it.
No, that's such a great question. I really appreciate that question because it's true. I mean, there's a brace in the woman's body, you know, and it's there, and it's there from thousands and thousands of years of having to brace ourselves and having to, you know, hold ourselves accountable for our safety, because there's been a lot of situations where we haven't felt safe or haven't been safe or haven't been in safe situations and whatnot. And so what I would recommend is open your heart. Yeah, speak from your heart. Feel into the space. Feel the energy of the woman. And if she's not open to it, you know, heed with caution.
Yeah, so pay attention type thing.
Sure, pay attention. Yeah, pay attention to it. And then it's her responsibility if she wants to, and her choice if she wants to come and approach you. It's almost like interacting with a cat. You know, you don't just jump to a cat.
No.
Don't do that shit. You look at the cat, veer at the cat, give your energy to the cat, and then see if the cat comes to you. You know?
So true.
Yeah. See if the cat, because we're cats.
Women
are cats.
Yeah, men are dogs.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well,
pet me,
yeah.
you know. Like, oh, you just hit me. Oh, it's cool. I'm fine.
Well, but yeah, if you interact in that way, I mean, it really could be that simple. Just activating your energy in a way of attuning to her energy and seeing if she's open, seeing what she wants and whatnot. But that also requires for a man to get vulnerable with himself, right?
Oh, that's tough. Why would we do that?
Of course.
Just
and
kidding.
you got to be vulnerable with you, and you got to be able to do your own inner work and whatnot to be able to feel that energy.
But there's definitely strength in vulnerability. When you're too quote unquote strong, you're too rigid and you shatter at the first like pressure.
Totally.
You know, some people try so hard to be strong, but it's like they're some of the most fragile people I know.
Yeah. Oh my God, they're gonna break at any moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. It's really important for men to do their work.
Yeah.
And to be vulnerable, and also I know how much that actually requires for the average man, because they're unpacking thousands and thousands of years of layers of don't have an emotion.
And not to sound funny, but we also have to provide the proper space and ground for.
Absolutely.
Like there has to be like a fertile ground for that, because people can say all day that men need to share their vulnerabilities, but if the moment they share it's not taken or offered space, it can be really hard as a man, because
100%.
nowadays, and not to whine, oh, poor me with men and stuff, but we all have our own struggles, and there is a lot of push towards vulnerability, and a lot of, sometimes whenever you share it, it's not accepted
it's not well
from the
received.
same person who wants it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It can be tough, but you know, you just gotta see it as a sign for like which type of people you want in your life.
Yeah, and also recognize that we're also learning at the same time as you are, and I know for a fact I've had experiences with past partners where I'm like, I want you to be vulnerable and I want you to share, and then they do, and I brace, and I'm like, no, you don't. I don't want that. Actually. And it's funny because I'm having to do my own inner work as he's opening up and sharing with me in the moment, and Yeah, it takes patience and it requires some practice for sure.
Yeah.
And the woman's got to keep opening her heart. That's the only fucking thing that we got to do in this world as a woman is open your heart, keep opening, keep leaning into love. And everyone has to do that.
It can be
right?
scary sometimes, though.
Yeah, it's scary as fuck.
Especially if you have a lot to give.
Of course. Yeah, and a lot to receive. You know? Yeah, it's so powerful though. I love it.
Yeah.
To keep leaning in, and women got to do it in spite of the pain, in spite of the trauma, in spite of the past stuff that they've had, to keep leaning into love, and be the bigger person in it. You know, not have to think that they know what's going on or they want to be the person that's telling the guy what to do. Or just fuck all that. Open up and open your heart and be uncomfortable in it. Yeah.
It's definitely growth to discomfort, I feel.
Whew. Yeah. That's the beautiful dance. The pain and the pleasure threshold, they're friends.
Yeah.
You know, they're hanging out. They're buds.
I had a friend tell me, I could be wrong, that passion actually means the suffering or something like that.
Whoa.
So like if you're passionate about something, it's something you're willing to suffer for.
Well, I wonder if that's why Passion of the Christ, that movie.
The suffering.
Remember? Mel Gibson played it?
For sure.
Yeah. Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, suffering.
Woo!
I'll look it up because I hate to share stuff on here. It sounds smart.
Yeah.
And then
we'll
I'm
look it
not
up.
smart.
Yeah, we'll look it up. But people watching this can also look it up.
For sure, yeah. Well, I bet you they're still watching. You're awesome.
Because we don't know what the fuck's going on.
You like this girl, don't you, huh? They want to keep you.
Yeah, we don't know what the hell's going on in this world. And the truth is...
Yeah, what do we
that
know?
There is no truth anymore. Everyone's in their own truth, and...
Oh, yeah.
So we gotta honor whatever the hell's going on here.
I know I'm going to die, and I'm going to try my best till then. And
right?
That's all I know.
You know what's amazing, too, is most people don't even think that they're going to die. There's this whole weird consensus around death that... Or not consensus, but it's this program around death that's been so deeply rooted in fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my clients shared this with me one day. It was so amazing. He was talking to me about a conversation that he had with his therapist. And he goes, yeah, so, I said to my therapist, I go, yeah, one day I might die. And his therapist goes, no, one day you will die.
Ha!
And it really was this whole awakening for him going, wait a second, holy shit, I am gonna die one day. And that's just a small micro of the macro that's going on in this world. Most people are so afraid that they don't even think that they're gonna die. Like, it's not even something that they've come into realization with and been okay with. Like, yes, I am going to die in this world. You're gonna die in this lifetime.
Yeah, everyone you know is going to be dead.
Everyone's gonna be dead. The trees, everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I feel like learning to accept that is so crucial for like learning to let go. We hold on to so much and you don't leave room for like new things. And it's like, how do you process if all you do is hold on? You can't. It's like a juggling act. You only have so many fucking hands.
Yeah, I feel you. You know the 5 love languages?
I need to learn more, but...
well, they forgot one, and it's space. We need space.
We do.
We need space.
Well,
we need space in everything. We need space in the breath. We need space in the letters that we see, because otherwise it'll all just be this like mumbo jumbo of whatever the hell.
Yeah, like when you go to an art museum and then the paintings are crammed so there's no wall between. Like the space that is provided around a painting is part of the art.
We need space. We need space for our own up-leveling. We need that ebb and flow, the natural, nice consensus of life. We need space. Space is nice. That's why the cats... I love cat consciousness.
I love cats.
I love cat consciousness. I listen to cats all the time.
Yeah.
They're so freaking profound.
You got to go to Panther Meadows.
What the hell is that?
We'll talk then.
Okay.
Panther Meadows is like the holy spot.
Is that in Greece?
It's here in Mount Shasta.
Okay.
Panther Meadows is like
Panther
a
Meadows,
really.
like a Greek word.
It's like literally. It's Panther Meadows.
Ah, okay.
It's literally like a field of energy inside a field of energy, because it's like
Jesus Christ.
there's so much vibrancy. There's all these flowers, and it's just you're right in Shasta, and there's just so much power, like in the actual living ecosystem. But then you're also in this like field of energy too. It's really amazing, and the flowers. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you can drive up to I don't think the gate's open, but you can drive up to Bunny Flats and then hike up along the road for like a mile and a half and get to
Easy.
Panther Meadows. There's a spring there, and the water there is like, yeah. I'll ramble more about it then.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
All right, so let me think. More fun, interesting topics. I love how open you are. So when I see this, it's an opportunity. I'm like, I gotta ask her something hard. I also want to wrap it up just so that you're not stuck just interviewing all day. If you want, you can do your thing, or we can talk more without a camera in between us. Let's see. All right, so if you could envision a utopia, an achievable realistic utopia,
Yeah.
right? Something in the near future, like what would it be and how could we work towards it?
God, I honestly don't think that it's possible.
That's a good answer. Tell me.
Yeah, I
There's
really,
never been a utopia.
yeah, I really don't think that it's possible. I think that there can be more harmony with what we do, but also this is a world where we have the day and we have the night. And there is going to be contrast and variety in everything, because that's the spice of life, baby. We love it. And Earth really is the training ground for us to learn what we got to learn, and then we go back into the ethers and we talk to whoever the hell we want to talk to, and we're like, oh, what did we learn? You know, do I want to go back there? So this really is, it's meant to be a little bit challenging, and it's meant to be difficult. What I can say is that the balance is for sure off, you know?
As far
as the amount of suffering that is happening in this world. But then it could also be a very beautiful depiction of how many souls that need fucking help. And maybe the third dimension is just too dense for them. Maybe they gotta go to a different dimension and figure themselves out. You know, perhaps, and this is the first time I've actually had this type of an opinion, so we'll just run with this, but you know, maybe these souls, there was a huge influx of too many souls. Oh, thank you. Yeah, there's a big influx of way too many souls that are maybe not necessarily ready for the third dimension. It's fucking dense here, man. We got these bodies and we gotta take care of them, and there's so much to do in this world. We gotta sleep at least, you know, 7, sometimes, well, some people do the whole 4-hour thing, but I need at least 7.5.
And for men, it fucks with your testosterone. If you drink, if you sleep, just there's a misconception of machismo that like you only need less, like 6 hours when you're an adult. But the thing is, you always need 8, from what I read, because like say I only slept 6 hours a night, I would have the testosterone levels of a man 10 years older.
Wow.
Which is going to affect everything, all the fun stuff. It's going to affect all the fun stuff.
Yeah, what the shit.
Get some sleep.
Yeah, you need some sleep. And we have to take care of our bodies. Our body is the compass. And so many people have been totally fucked up over sideways about how they got to go listen to the doctor. Way back when, you know, it all started with God. It's like, oh, you can't have a connection with God unless you go talk to the priest. And then so that we're seeing has shifted into, oh, you got to look at Google, Wikipedia. You might have cancer because you got some fingernail thing that's happening, or whatever.
In some ways, science is almost like a new religion. I was up on Mauna Kea like 2 months ago.
Totally.
And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, these are fucking temples. All those big, like, observatories. I'm like, these are temples. The priest class is in there in their special white uniforms, and they're telling everyone what we have to believe, and they're looking to the stars looking for more answers to tell us to further their power. And I'm like, science is a priest class.
Science is a priest class.
And they can decide what's real and what's not, and just we have to believe it.
Yeah.
It's a new religion. It's crazy.
Yeah. And so there's going to be contrast and there's going to be challenge and whatnot, but people have got to get back in their bodies. Otherwise, we're going to be fucked over sideways. Truly. People got to get back in their bodies. That's really the only thing that we do. And getting you back in your body requires you to stay in your heart. You know, stay in your heart, stay in your body, listen to your navigation compass that's inside of you. And it's challenging sometimes.
Sometimes it spins around.
Ooh-wee. And sometimes it takes you in a totally different direction and you're like, fuck, what the hell? I was listening to my body. And it's like, well, maybe that's what you needed. Maybe you needed to learn that lesson. So it's all normal. It's not like utopia means that everything's going to be, oh my God, happy. We'd be bored as fuck.
Oh my gosh.
We'd be bored.
It'd be like if we lived forever. How bored would be?
Oh God. Or the fact that everything isn't temporary or everything is permanent. Ew. Can you imagine getting a massage for the rest of your life and that's all you do? That would hurt after a while. Your body would be so uncomfortable.
It's true, yeah.
Or you meet somebody on a date and you guys are getting hot and passionate and you're making out and whatnot. Can you imagine if that makeout session lasted forever?
You'd be
dehydrated. You'd be so uncomfortable.
It'd be like eternal blue balls. I'm just kidding.
No, seriously though. It'd be fucked up.
Yeah. Impermanence, is beautiful. It's tough.
Things need to be temporary.
Definitely tough, impermanence. But...
Yeah, because we yearn for the long-lasting experience, but sometimes things are meant to last for 5 minutes.
I know, yeah. Mm-hmm. I know, it's so true. And a lot of people struggle with that, I feel.
Yeah.
Where it's like people are taught that something has to last forever to be special.
I know.
and then they miss out on so much, and then they end up sticking with something forever that has not been special in years.
Yeah, because you gotta keep it. The variety is the spice of life. Hello, we've been saying that for. When did that phrase come out? I wonder where these phrases come from. But variety is the spice of life. We say it all the time.
We'll write a book on it.
We'll write a book on it. Hallelujah.
All right, I feel like we could do this thing all day. You're so like animated and charismatic. You're like perfect for this. But I'll ask you. Let's see. Any final like messages or notes or anything of beauty you want to share or like?
I'd like to sing in. So there's a song that I was gifted a number of years ago at a Lakota Sundance ceremony. It's the 13 Lemurian grandmother song. Mm-hmm. And I don't sing this very often, but since I've been here, I sing this regularly.
I would be honored to hear it.
Yeah, of course. So it's 13 grandmothers, and it's singing each and every single one of their names. And you're meant to sing it 13 times, but I'll just do it once over.
Sure.
Or maybe I'll do it a couple times.
Yeah.
Just seeing what happens. Yahum hardura kunhamu kumhasia kiha ranu pearamu mara reke sita kumu.
So those were their names?
All 13 of their names.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What's the meaning?
It's their names.
So just calling them in?
So calling in the grandmothers.
Grandmother energy?
The grandmothers of Lemuria.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You're sweet.
I love you, baby.
I love you too. Thank you.
Hallelujah.